different diode applications which are used for diodes which is used for different applications. Okay, and how we are going to control the polarity reversal protection by using the diode, polarity reversal protection circuit by using the diode, and also dimming the incandescent light by using the diode circuit, simple diode. Okay, so these topics we discussed yesterday. Now today we are going to discuss uh, production of soldering iron, production of soldering iron bit by using the diode. Okay, uh, let us go through the still the people are coming. I told people to come at 11. It is 11:25. Half of the time is completed. But still, if people are joining, means our time is very limited. It is allowing only 40 minutes to conduct the meeting. Out of 40 minutes, it is 30 minutes completed only for joining. Only 10 minutes is left for our class. Okay, please, students, be punctual. Okay, all of you be ready. The time mentioned. Okay, right. So let us start the class now. Am I audible? Please raise your hands. So I am going to start the class now. Raise your hands by using the option available. Right bottom corner, 3 dots, and click on raise hand. 204. Not thumbs up. Okay, right. See, is this screen? See, it is the circuit showing the soldering iron tip protection. Soldering iron tip protection circuit. See, a simple circuit. It is same like a incandescent dimming circuit which we have discussed yesterday. Only the difference is in place of incandescent light, just we are placing the soldering iron. In place of incandescent light, we are placing the soldering. That's it. Soldering iron. See, AC input is there. So of course it is there is no switch mentioned here, S1 and S2. Okay. Now a diode and a thermal switch is there. Diode and thermal switch is there. If switch is open, only half of the power is supplied to the soldering iron. If switch is closed, full power is supplied to the soldering iron. So what happens? The bit now gets enough heat if the switch is closed. The switch is open means why we need to open the switch? Whenever the soldering iron is not in use, what we do, if you switch off the supply, entire supply, the soldering iron will get cool. Okay, again it takes time to get heated. So That is the reason why what we are doing now, we are now switching off the thermal switch. So if you switch off the thermal switch, what happens? Now the supply will go through the diode to the soldering iron. Only half of the supply is now supplied to the soldering iron. So with this, what happens? Soldering iron will get the half the power supply. So only it is get heated. The bit is maintaining it is heat but not overheated. Okay, that is the advantage of this soldering iron heat protection circuit by using the diode. Okay. Right. The soldering iron is now protection of soldering iron with a diode. Protection circuit is completed now. Okay. Now let us go with another topic. Temperature sensing using the diode. Temperature sensing using the diode. See, the same diode is used to sense the temperature in the circuits. See, the thermal properties. It can be used in also thermometers. Because of this thermal properties. See, if a diode is taken, for example, during its forward bias condition, if the temperature is raised, the forward voltage is now fall down. See the. So I will show the graph how the temperature dependency of the diode. See. See, are you able to see this diagram? Okay, there is an internet problem with my system. Okay, no problem. Okay, so see, the red curve indicates that if the diode is heated, see, the current is increased and the voltage is decreased. The red curve showing that if the diode is heated, that means it is having some temperature. So the voltage is reduced and current is increased. See, the blue curve showing that if the diode is in normal temperature, that is cold, see the voltage VF is the forward voltage. VF is the forward voltage. Okay, the VF is now increased. Okay, and the current is less as compared to the previous condition. That is whenever the diode is heated. Okay, so this graph shows us that the diode is a temperature dependent device. So we can use this diode for temperature sensing. Okay, so and also the diodes which are made with the materials gallium arsenide and silicon are very much useful to sense the temperature. And as compared to the gallium arsenide, silicon is very cheap and freely available and highly sensitive to the temperature variations. So we can use the silicon for this temperature sensing devices. Okay, right. Now let us calculate the beta value of the transistor. Okay, so with this session, we are now closing the topic regarding the diode applications. That is, what are the four topics we have discussed? One is polarity reversal protection, and number two is dimming the incandescent light, and number three is protection of soldering iron pit, and number four, temperature sensing by using the diode. So this is used in the thermometers for sensing the temperature. Okay, right. Now let us go to the calculation of transistor beta parameters. Yes. Yes. Calculate the value of beta the transistor for amplifier application with the required voltage gain. See now. Yes. If the alpha of the transistor is given, the alpha value of the transistor is given, and it is 0.9. As we know, the beta and alpha relation, the relation between beta and alpha, which we have discussed in the previous classes. So did you remember that? The relation between alpha, beta, gamma. We have derived all this. Okay. So now what we are doing now, by using this equation, I am now going to get the value of the beta. So I know the value of alpha, that is 0.9. The alpha value is 0.9 is given. Okay. Now I am going to calculate the beta. Beta equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha. So now calculate the beta value, 0.9 by 1 minus 0.9. So what it gives now, result is the value of the beta is 9. How it is giving the value? See, 0.9 by 1 minus 0.9. 1 minus 0.9 gives, the result is 0.1. So 0.9 by 0.1. Okay, 0.9 by 0.1. 9 by 10 by 1 by 10. 10 and 10 gets cancelled. 9 by 1 is the answer. 9 by 1 says the answer is 9. Okay, so let us take an example, another example. If the NPN transistor for a switch for which alpha is 0.98, okay, for which alpha is 0.98, and also it is given that ICO, okay, ICO value is also given. So now a common emitter connection is used. Common emitter connection is used, and the VCC is also given. VCC is 12 volts and load resistance is 4 kilo ohms. Okay, what is the minimum base current required in order to the transistor enter into the saturation region? Okay, so it is this problem is in your textbook. Okay, it is your textbook problem. No need to worry about how to note down all these readings. Okay, this is in your textbook, right? So how to calculate the base current required? Okay, so now let us see. Yes, IC collector current we need to calculate first. See, collector current IC equal to what? VCC by RL. What is the VCC? 12 volts. The RL is 4 kilo ohms. So now we have got the IC is 3 milliamps. IC is 3 milliamps. The IC is 3 milliamps. Now let us go to the next. IB. IB, IC equals to beta times the IB. We know the equation. IC equals to beta times the IB. So, but I know the IC and I don't know beta, but I know the alpha. So, beta times the IB. I want to know the IB. Actually, the question is IB. So, here I am now calculating the beta by using the value of alpha. Alpha value is 0.98. Okay, 0.98 by 1 minus 0.98. So the answer is 49. Okay, the answer is 49. Now I am going to calculate the IB value, base current required. So that is the question now. What is the question? So minimum base current required in order the transistor enter into the saturation region. So to operate the transistor in saturation region, what is the base current required? That is the question. Okay, so base current I need to calculate. Now IB, IC equals to beta times the IB. I am now having the IC value and the beta value. So I can easily calculate the IB. IB equal to IC by beta. So IB equal to IC. What is the IC value? 3 amps. We have just 3 milliamps. We have just calculated here. See, 3 milliamps. Now what is the beta value? 49. 3 by 49. The IB is 61.3 milliamps. 61.3 milliamps IB value. Okay. So this is the calculation of IB value. And let us take another example. If the transistor with a alpha equals to 0.98 and emitter base resistance is 80 ohms placed in a common emitter configuration, then find the gain. Okay, current gain, voltage gain, and power gain. AI, AV, and AP. Current gain, voltage gain, and power gain. Okay, you all people, what you do? Just you try to solve this problem. Okay, this is your assignment. Okay, this is your assignment. Right. Right. Next, we'll discuss the selection of the transistor for a given circuit specification. See, there are so many number of transistors are there. So many number of transistors are there. Which transistor has to be used for which kind of application? We must know the application type. So what kind of transistor is used for a specific application? Okay, right. So first, driver amplifier. Okay, driver amplifier. If you want to use as a driver amplifier, okay, the driver amplifier AC126 PNP germanium transistor is used. Okay, AC126 germanium PNP transistor is used. Okay, if it is a medium power amplifier, AC187 NPN low frequency transistor is used. Okay, and if it is a again for a low frequency driver amplification, BC107, BC107A, BC107B, PNP low frequency transistor. Okay, so this is a transistor which you have used in your laboratory application. Okay, laboratory to get the transistor characteristics. BC107, 547, all these transistors you have used in your lab. Okay, did you remember that? Next, only 10 minutes is left for us to continue the class. We'll start the new session after the ending of this session. Okay, don't worry. And now, BC177 is an audio amplifier and driver amplifier. Okay, and AF125 radio frequency amplifier. BU205 is a power amplifier, and RPS used in the RPS regulated power supplies as a regulator. Okay, The BD115 is used for video amplifier in portable TVs. Portable TVs will be there. In earlier days, small TVs were there. In the TVs, BD115 was used as a video amplifier. Okay, and SL100, SK100K. SL100 is a current amplifier, and SK100 is the voltage amplifier. Okay, and ZN2646, low frequency amplifier in inverters. Inverters in the sense, all the people are nowadays using inverters in their homes. Inverters is the purpose of inverter is to get the uninterrupted power supply during the power failures. Okay, and BF196 NPN transistor, it is used for high frequency applications. It is used in mixer amplifier and RF amplifiers in the radio receivers. So this is about the transistors and transistor numbers used for different applications. Transistor numbers used in different applications. Okay, now the significance of transistor number marked on the transistor case. Significance of transistor number marked on the transistor case and transistor packages. So we'll discuss in the next session. That is, now I am going to close this session as most of the people are now not here in the group. Only 34 are present. Okay. So again, we'll start the new session. Already the session time is over now. Okay. All the people just be ready and add faster as possible. Okay, right. Now I am ending this session and within 5 minutes I am going to start the new session. All of you be ready, right?